Morning, Birmingham. You see, there's that little. This happened yesterday. You know what it is? Don't
Crackling.
touch
I
it.
thought it was my headphones. I'm
Don't
like, it's your microphone.
don't touch the microphone,
Don't,
Richard.
don't.
If you play with it too much, it'll fall off.
It sure will.
not
You'll
right.
break it.
Case. We're still talking about on this April the 1st of 20. How about that first? A lot going on weather-wise. 84 for 85. Today, about a 40% first drop at my house.
Fine mist that was out. It wasn't really rain.
All right.
See, saw the moon. Didn't see it this
No
morning.
moon
I
to be
think
seen. Is the night.
there's gonna we from yesterday afternoon. You know, I send Richard and the guys show sheets, and then you do your thing, and I do my thing. Anyways, we kind of have an idea of what we're talking about. We might as well throw that in almost that entire sheet out the window for everything that has changed. The news cycle is incredibly crazy right now, and there's going to be a few stories we talk about today. You're going to be like, "That's not true. That's April Fool's."
There's no way. Yeah.
I'm going to tell y'all that there are some stories out there today. You're going to be, "There's no way. That's an April Fool's story."
Yep.
And it's not going to be.
It's
an April Fool's story.
100% on the up and up. No kidding. You can't make this stuff
Now
up.
there are a couple today.
If I tried to make this stuff up, people would be like, "No way, that's crazy." It's that far.
That was me yesterday, and I was like, "It's not April Fool's. This can't be real." So we'll get to it.
We'll dig into it all in a bit. Mr. Bugs, MRBUGGS.com. They know what bugs you. If you have an insect problem around your home, pest control is one thing you have to have in the South. You have to have it. Now, if you've had a company working for you that hasn't been doing the job right, or maybe the bugs keep coming back again and again and again, or perhaps they're missing appointments. That happened to me a couple of times with previous guys. This is who you need, Mr. Bugs. They don't miss appointments. They one time they had to reschedule on me, and they were like 5 minutes late. Oh, what a nightmare. Oh, no. Yeah, Mr. Bugs, these are the guys that you can trust, that the price is right. The service is fantastic. You get it once a month, once every other month, once every 3 months, however often you want it. Small rodent control, mosquito reduction, termite bonding. They do the whole shebang. Mr. Bugs, MRBUGGS.com, online statewide at 844-MRBUGGS. Let's do this, shall we?
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Well, one of the things that changed from yesterday when we started putting together today's show is that the president is going to be addressing the nation tonight at 8 o'clock our time. The president doesn't, just address the nation from the Oval Office for fun. Generally, something has happened, something big has happened, he's got some piece of news he wants to share with us, or something big is about to happen and he's got some piece of news he wants to share with us. Don't know exactly what it is, but my guess is that these negotiations with the Iranians are going better than anticipated. The Iranians actually finally admitted, okay, we're talking to them. All right, we admit it. It's not negotiations, though.
That's what was so funny. I was
right,
like, really, it's not negotiations. I think that you may not know what a negotiation is because that's what Donald Trump is doing.
Yeah.
That's,
He's always negotiating. It doesn't matter.
Steve Witkoff and others. I mean, that's exactly what they're doing.
Reminds me of a guy I had, a sales teacher. His job was to teach us sales and marketing in broadcasting school. And this guy was always selling it. He'd walk into the room, and he'd be like, "Is it cold in here?" No, it feels good. Isn't it a little cold? You're like, really? You're going to keep pushing it? How about no? I feel fine. Like stop it. Stop
Eventually,
pushing
he'll get
me.
you to tell you it's cold.
Stop selling me on the concept. That's Donald Trump, basically. He's going to constantly be chipping away at you here. Now, he says also yesterday that we could finish the Iran operation within 2 to 3 weeks. That may all change tonight. He may be coming on tonight to go like, you know what? It's over. We're done. We finished everything. Nothing is going to be.
Yeah, it's hard to know that. I will say this, though. According to what happened on the Dow Jones yesterday, the world is thinking that this is going to be maybe the end of the war because the Dow Jones was up over 1,100 points yesterday when it closed. So that was big. That's people being optimistic. Hey, gas prices may be coming down if this war ends with Iran and we can get back to a little more normalcy at the pump. So, I would imagine that he's got a few things that are positive tonight. And I guess number one on the list is, where are we going with the Iran war?
Yeah, boy. I'm going to bundle two stories together here because they're kind of the same story. Both of them involve federal judges making orders about things that Donald Trump has done. And in both cases, federal judges have already ruled, and this has already been up and down through the court system. And the point is moot. It's done. It's over. The first is a federal judge yesterday ordered Donald Trump to halt the White House ballroom project, saying, you don't have the authority. You didn't check with Congress. Guys, this was done literally months ago. This made it all the way up to the D.C. Court of Appeals, and the D.C. Court of Appeals unanimously said, yeah, he can do that.
He has the power.
He has that
Plus,
power.
he's not using our dollars to do that.
No.
It's all private. It's his money.
Exactly. He didn't have to get
so-
any appropriations from Congress or anything of that nature. So why this joker suddenly thinks he can insinuate himself into it and be like, this has to be stopped. No, wrong, incorrect. You're wasting people's time once again.
And
By the way,
delaying
he
this.
put his own stay on it. He's like, I'll give you 14 days because I know you're going to appeal it. Yeah, we're going to appeal it, and it's going to go back to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, and they're going to say, we done told you already. It's okay. Leave this thing alone, okay? That's story number one. Story number two is a federal judge who found that Donald Trump violated free speech by ordering NPR defunded. Now, this has to do with NPR and PBS and his executive order defunding those, saying we're not going to give any money to those people. Well, that's all well and good, except that, too, is a moot point because Congress passed a bill that actually it was a budget bill, where they were spreading the money out far and wide, and they said, oh, by the way, PBS, NPR, none for you.
Yep.
So
That's already been put to bed, too.
It's the law of the land now. It's not just the president's whim.
Yeah.
This was a bill that was passed by Congress, ergo making it a law, a budget bill that became law that was signed by the president. I look at these, and I'm not sure.
You can't, there has to be something, or maybe we need to change it.
Yeah.
That once it's a bill like that, we're not going back and redoing it again. Because how many times do we need to do this? So you have these rogue judges
Sure.
that do this. Okay, that judge rules again, and here we go again. It's already been ruled on.
Yeah.
Do they do it again? So you have to keep arguing it?
To be fair, this judge is ruling only on the executive order, and the response to that could be, so it's you didn't rule on the law, you didn't rule on the budget, you didn't rule on that.
Right.
Now, there was, remember, a judge who immediately, in the aftermath of that bill passing and being signed, tried to tell Donald Trump and Congress, you have to reinstate that funding. And immediately the judge above that judge said, no, they don't. That's not how any of this works. Stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. Now, I'm not sure which is more offensive to me. A, whether these judges, is it these judges, the fact that they keep trying to insinuate themselves into settled cases, or is it the fact that when the media announces these things, they do so breathlessly as if it's a new and exciting, a judge stopped Donald Trump from building the... Your next sentence should be, by the way, a judge tried this 8 months ago. It didn't work then. It's not going to work now.
But that's not how the liberal media handles it. They're all up in arms. Oh, looky here, Donald Trump. And you're right. It gives them, more ammunition to talk about Donald Trump in a negative light.
Acts like it's the greatest, most exciting thing ever. And then you go, you're just going to get spanked in public again. I mean, it's going to be embarrassing.
Wasting time and money.
Why do you want to do that? Then we have the Tyson plant spill, where an Alabama man was awarded $70 million for a flesh-eating infection. This was 2019, Mulberry Fork, north of Birmingham, Alabama. A wastewater spill from a poultry rendering plant in Hansville killed about 175,000 fish. The claim, of course, was, that was a mistake. We didn't mean that. There was a flaw. There was a design flaw. There was a valve or something that didn't go the way it was supposed to. A lot of times, I hate to say this out loud, and don't get me wrong, because I don't have anything at all against Tyson for the most part. They employ a lot of people, love their products. Mm-hmm. But sometimes these corporations, they do a little math and they go, which is going to cost us more, actually properly disposing of this stuff, or if we just jettison it into this river and then pay the fine later? And all too often, they decide that paying the fine is the way to go.
Yeah, and at the same time, think of what you've done from a conservation. I don't want to go down this whole conservation road, But I care about the streams and rivers and everything else. You don't want waste going in there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to keep that stuff clean. And if you know that's the wrong thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
Tyson,
Mm-hmm.
do the right thing. Even if it costs a little bit more money, do you not give a rip about the community or the state that you're in or the facility that you're in that you would allow that? It's called just do what's right.
I'm not suggesting that that was the case here.
I
I just
hear
say
you.
that
I
it
hear
does
you.
happen sometimes.
It happens a lot.
And when you get smacked with a $70 million verdict, suddenly you start to go, maybe next time we should just go ahead and do this correctly.
That would be nice.
If that is in
And
fact
if it's
what
an
happened.
accident, okay, I get it's an accident. Well, let's, clean it up and take responsibility and, figure out a better way.
In the words of Elvis Costello, accidents will happen.
Mm.
ProLift, garage doors, 286-9727. If you have got a garage door that ain't getting the job done, maybe it's not getting the job done in terms of keeping the heat or the cold out or in. You know what I mean? Maybe a new garage door is what you're looking for. Maybe you need to get yourself an insulated garage door from ProLift Garage Doors, ProLiftDoors.com. One of the great things about ProLift is that they have all shapes, sizes, kinds. They'll come out, they'll measure, they'll talk about what might be best for you if you need some design tips or hints or something like that, and you're looking at maybe changing the look and feel of your home. They can get you the right kind, something that's going to really shake things up. And then, like I said, that insulated version doesn't cost a whole lot more, and with 12 months, same as cash, it's really easy. That is what they are doing at ProLift Garage Doors. They can also repair all makes and models. If your garage door lets you down, get an uplifting experience from ProLiftDoors.com, 286-9727. Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. April Fool's Day. Do not get fooled. Pay close attention and really question everything you hear, except on this show, where we're going to be 100% honest with you all the time, as far as you know.
Mm-hmm. And we're setting that up for a reason today.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things that need to be talked about.
I'm like, on April 1st.
Yeah.
You know, of all the crazy stories, today's the day.
Yeah.
And we got a bunch of them.
Mm-mm.
I tell you what, folks, I would love for you to reach out to my friends, Brian and Becky Jackson. Improve your home energy efficiency. It's important. How about security for your home? How about enhancing the curb appeal with some brand new, beautiful windows and doors? Listen, you know, our home is a big investment, and why not have it be exactly like you love it? If you moved into a home and you're like, I don't really particularly care for these windows and doors, and, you know, they seem like they're, you know, not quite the type quality I would like in my house. Well, certainly you can change all of that out. A premium quality replacement windows and doors for your home available through EcoView Windows and Doors. You'll love working with Brian and Becky Jackson. You'll love the fact that this is a local company and they live here as well. They're part of our community. I tell you what, call up Becky and Brian Jackson this morning at 407-8161 and say, look, I've been thinking about it. I'd really like to get an estimate first, kind of see where we're at. Just know that also when you deal with EcoView Windows and Doors, a lifetime warranty will come with those new windows and doors. A glass break warranty also comes with that. They're extremely knowledgeable. They can install these windows and doors, and they look fantastic. A lot of flexible financing options are also available. When you call them, you can ask them all about that. 407-8161. When you need premium quality replacement windows and doors, make it EcoView Windows and Doors, 407-8161.
Well, Donald Trump has got plans for a presidential library. He's ready to go already. I mean, he's got a little less than 3 years left in this term. But he is going to have a skyscraper in Miami.
This thing is massive.
Massive.
It is massive.
It dwarfs the Freedom Tower that's right next door to it.
Mm-hmm.
Cuban asylum seekers.
It looks
would go there.
itty-bitty next to it.
It's a tiny I have no idea how many floors this is, but it's huge. Of course, it says Trump across the top. It's got a gigantic antenna on it because that's, you know, Trump's way in case he decides to take his Trump dirigible over there and, you know, moor it to that thing. The interesting thing about this, well, was first off, we got a little bit of a teaser video yesterday about what this was going to look like. Presidential jet will be in the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
That's
how big the lobby is. You can put a jet in there.
There'll be an amphitheater where audiences will face a golden statue of the president.
I think that's a little over the top,
You
but
think?
okay.
You think?
The plane's kind of cool,
Sounds
but
perfectly
I don't know
Trumpian
that
to
you
me.
need a statue of yourself in your building, in your library. But I don't know. It's the Trump Library.
Replicas of the White House, including the Rose Garden and a ballroom he's building where the East Wing once stood. The price of this thing, here's what gets me about this.
I can't even imagine.
$1 billion. Now, you say, well, that sounds like a lot. There's a reason why Jerome Powell has been indicted. Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed, has thus far spent $4 billion renovating the Federal Reserve Building. Renovating the Federal Reserve Building.
Something's
He has
wrong
spent
there.
$4 billion. And Trump said, not that terribly long ago, he said, I could have torn it down and rebuilt it for 1/4 of that.
Yep.
And it would be much better, but no.
And he knows that's the great part of about having a president like him that has business sense, real estate sense. He knows exactly what he could do it for.
It should.
And he smelled that a mile away, going, "Oh no, something's very wrong."
Where is this money going? Well,
that's a good
now when
question.
you've got a government project, which is not at all like this. I mean, this is the Trump Library is going to be privately funded, of course. All these libraries are. The big ugly one that Barack Obama just built in Chicago, and the hideous one that Bill Clinton put up on, the trailer on stilts in Little Rock, Arkansas. I was there a couple of years ago. I did not stop by that place. I probably should have at least taken a look at it, right? I haven't seen the George W. Bush museum or library. I'm sure it's in Houston, I'm going to guess. Houston or Dallas, because they're Texans. They live in Texas stuff. And Joe Biden's would be in Pennsylvania, but nobody seems to be raising any money for it or putting any effort into it. They've raised almost nothing and done almost nothing. And he may be the first president in modern history to not have a library because everybody's just kind of like, the best
They
part
don't
of
want
that
any part of
presidency
it.
is he's over.
Yeah, that it's done.
Yes, Steve.
George W. Bush's is on the campus of Southern Methodist University in Dallas.
SMU. Okay. Very
Pretty
good.
cool.
That does make sense.
I put the video out yesterday on X. So if you follow me on X, it's there, and it's only like 2 minutes, but it really gives you perspective as to how massive the rendering is going to be of this building. And it worries me a little. Here's where I went with it a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm like, the skyline of downtown Miami has changed vastly over the last 50 years,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Oh,
It's just totally different. But you put up a massive tower like that, I think, unfortunately, about 9/11 and those twin towers.
Sure.
I mean, they were iconic, and that's what they went after. And you better get some security in the air and around that thing, because that's going to be a bullseye down the road. I
won't
really
even-
fear for that.
It won't even be Al Qaeda that does it. It'll be
No.
like a crazy liberal from Massachusetts who's like, I'm going to fly down there and hit that tower and take everything out. And but of course Trump is going to be. It's going to be the biggest. It's going to be the
It's going
best.
to be big.
The best, absolute best library. It's going to be the biggest library. There's going to be 3-4 books in there as well, and
Three or four
some of them will not.
books.
I have not colored in all of them, but
Yeah.
some of them I'm going to be.
And he really talked too much about books.
Yeah.
All of
this
them with
is-
gold binding.
Yes,
and
of
sitting
course.
on gold-plated shelves.
Needless to say, the man loves his gold. He, you've never been to Graceland, right? You said
I have
you've never
not.
been,
No,
Steve,
I
you've been to
know,
Graceland
Once,
unfortunately.
long
yeah.
time ago. From what I understand, it hasn't changed much.
No, it's exactly the same. As a matter of fact, Lisa Marie used to go there and actually live in the house. Like, but there were times when they had to close it down because it's like Lisa Marie's in town. She's living in her dad's house. She's going to be here for a week, and she'd have like Christmas parties and stuff like that there. But Elvis, his house was a great depiction of what a poor person thinks a rich person lives like.
Yeah,
You know?
that's a good way of putting it.
I have 3 TVs in the basement, and we're going to be on different channels, and I'll be able to shoot them with my gun if I want to, and I'm going to have a pool table down here. I know the room's not big enough, but it's going to be beautiful. It's going to have red felt. It's going to be fantastic. And I feel like that's what Trump has. Trump is like his idea, a poor person's idea of what a rich person. Everything should be gold. We should have gold everywhere. Everyone's talking about the gold and how great gold is and how wonderful it looks.
It's a little too gaudy for me.
Very gaudy.
Yeah,
It's Saudi prince gaudy.
I don't
gaudy,
like that.
You know,
But
Yeah.
Trump is Trump.
Yeah.
Do what you do, Donald. Just
Trump is.
if that makes you happy,
That was
you
good,
knock
Trump.
yourself out.
Aside from the president speaking tonight, something else very exciting is happening this evening, and we'll get into it. First time this has taken place in 53 years. Gosh, you were 10 last time it happened, Valerie. I did that math in my head, by the way.
Way to go,
Yeah.
Richard.
Oh, yeah. A very young Steve Winwood there, singing with the Spencer Davis Group. 636, Dixon Inviting, Talk 995, talk995.com. Something had happened to his speaker, the speaker through which he was playing that Hammond B3 organ, which is why it sounds so kind of rattly and distorted. And he wanted to get it fixed, and the producer said, nope, we're going to stick with that. That's going to be the sound, and it's a unique sound. I don't know that you could get that sound out of a Hammond B3 today. If you tried, they might have a button on it nowadays. It's just like, oh, here's Spencer Davis button. Here you go.
Is that
Push
what it
button.
is?
Listed as distortion.
Exactly. Flipsies, Furniture, 1811 Crestwood Boulevard in beautiful Irondale. Oh, there it is again.
You better leave that microphone alone.
Speaking of distortion.
Stop moving the microphone.
Sorry. Hold on. I won't touch it again. Yes, I will. Hey, 1811 Crestwood Boulevard in beautiful Irondale, 28,000 square feet of showroom. More stuff in the basement, and then the whole second location, which is in Hoover. So if you're down there by the Galleria next to Second and Charles, and you don't want to drive all the way to Irondale to find some furniture for you, guess what? You don't have to. There's a location right there as well. Different stores, different stuff in each store. If you don't find what you're looking for at the new Hoover location, well, then head on over to the Irondale location and see if you can't find exactly what you're after. Chances are good you will, and you're going to love the price because it is designer furniture at wholesale prices. They have everything, living room sets, dining room sets, bedroom sets, occasional tables, occasional chairs. They've got wall hangings. They've got lighting. They've got chandeliers. They've got knickknacks. They've got paddywhacks. They'll give the dog a bone. They will. This is who they are.
See what you
Flipsies
did
Furniture.
there. That was pretty good.
1811 Crestwood Boulevard and Highway 31 in Hoover across from the Galleria. It is designer furniture. It's wholesale prices. FlipsiesFurniture.com on the World Wide Web. We are headed back to the moon. Not to stay. We're just going to drop by, kind of spin around at once, and then head home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spin around and come back. We got to make sure that flag is still there.
That's the whole reason for the trip,
That's
really.
it, really.
Is to make sure
Somebody
that the flag
find
is
that
there. Like,
thing.
hey, someone
You gotta
knocked it
grab
over.
that.
Oh, it touched the ground. We have to set fire to it now.
Oh,
I
goodness.
Hey, wait a minute. Did somebody move that car that we left up there?
Interestingly, this is just exactly the way we did it back in the day. I was such a little freak about astronauts, and I remember this fairly well. You know, first thing you did was we sent a guy up into low, not quite orbit, and then brought him back down again. That was like, let's just make sure that works. Let's do that one time. And then John Glenn was the first guy to orbit. And then it was like, all right, now we're sending you out there farther. We're going to send you to the moon. Now we're going to send you around the moon and bring you back again. Not landing anywhere yet because we don't know what we're dealing with. But, every single step of the way was let's just test this next thing and make sure it works. So here we are about to send the Artemis rocket, which is a new kind of rocket that was originally designed for this exactly. And the plan is, and boy, this just sounds space-aged. It sounds like something out of a Stanley Kubrick movie. They want to build a moon base.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a good reason for building a moon base. If you're trying to get to Mars or really any other place in outer space, you'll use 90% of the fuel in a rocket trying to break Earth's atmosphere. It's gravity is a strong, strong thing.
Sure is.
And
There's a reason for that.
Exactly. It holds us all down.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly been holding me down. It's been holding me down for years.
I don't feel held down as much as I feel pushed down.
That works too. So if you can get yourself to a much lower gravity environment, like the moon,
Right.
and you're able to take off from there, you don't have to use anywhere near as much fuel. Two strong guys in a push,
That's
just shove them out
It
there,
just-
go. And yeah, it'll take a while, but still, she's floating now. She's actually floating. You can't see this on the radio, but she's floating. It's a good look for you.
Thank you.
I've
been practicing all morning.
I'm glad. I touched the mic again. I'm sorry.
Stop. You're going to break that thing.
I am. I intend to.
That's going to be the
Before
end
this
of it.
is all over.
And Frank, the engineer, is going to go, did you touch this microphone? Yes, sir, I did.
This is why we can't have
Guilty.
nice things.
That's right.
But we have begun the countdown now for the first launch to the moon in 53 years. The 32-story Space Launch System rocket is poised to blast off this evening. 4 astronauts in it. There's going to be a chick. There's a Canadian.
Chick. A female, a Canadian. What else you got?
A black guy,
Keep going.
and just an average white American male.
Well, that's an interesting group.
It is an interesting.
Why the Canadian? I'm not worried about the other three.
no,
the
I mean,
Canadian
neither.
is
That's
the troublemaker in
I
that
agree.
whole
Doing the
arena.
whole North America
Look,
thing.
what are we doing there? We could leave the Canadian at home.
That's well, maybe we'll leave him up there. We don't know. We it's like drop
Is
the
that
ball.
the plan?
Just go get out.
Hey, you don't know it, but you're going to be staying up here. See
Um,
ya.
Well, I think we're all trying to get a little closer to the original Star Trek, where there was one of everybody on that bridge, and it was cool,
Okay.
and everybody got
All right.
along, and
Yeah.
the astronauts.
I just want to make sure they're all qualified, okay?
well, yes, yeah,
None of these should be DEI hires.
I agree.
Okay?
I agree.
Every one of you should be completely qualified across the board, and that's why you were selected.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
couldn't agree more. Artemis 2's pilot Victor Glover said over the weekend that he wants young people to see them and think, girl power, and that's awesome. And that young brown boys and girls can look at me and go, hey, he looks like me, and he's doing what? I never thought that for some reason, mostly because I did grow up watching Star Trek, and there were black people on the bridge, and there was, Lieutenant Uhuru, who looked very nice. And, you also had Vulcans there, and you had a Russian.
Right.
I mean, we were in the Cold War. We were in the thick of the Cold War, and here's this Russian guy on the bridge. Like, we must have settled our differences by the time this came along. Media can be a very powerful thing.
Yes, it can.
And
We've seen how it affects elections.
well, that's true. But
That's
it can,
one way.
It can also have big effects on growing minds. I mean,
Yes.
I've mentioned
in a
that.
positive and negative way.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Because my mother was a nurse, one of my favorite TV shows was Julia, which starred Diane Carroll as a single African-American nurse with her son and their next-door neighbor, Earl J. Wagoner. So there wasn't a question to me about whether or not a black woman could be a nurse. I saw one every week on TV. There wasn't a question to me about whether or not a woman could host a variety show. Carol Burnett did it every Saturday night, on my TV. So I grew up in a world where that was just normal. And when, 10 and 12 and 15 years later, they're like, we're fighting for these rights. I'm like, what rights? You have them. Stop it. You're done. This argument ended a long time ago. And here's this guy going, well, young black people need to see that, they can become astronauts too. We sent a black guy up into space a long, I think we brought him back, didn't we? Did we bring him back? I feel like we did.
He's up with a flag
Yeah.
in the car.
No, we
Yeah, we just left him up
We
there.
did not leave him there. But not.
Do us a favor.
Yeah,
Build a Dollar General over there.
The deal was, Richard, we didn't think about that.
No.
None of those issues. And again, you can think about a childlike mind. Yes, it's impressionable, but we just didn't. It wasn't, it wasn't on our radar that this individual was a woman, or this was a guy, or you were black, or you were white, or you were Asian, or you were this. I never. It didn't even dawn on me.
No.
We all were. We're humans. We're individuals. There's different sexes. Yes, we have different colors of skin and different nationalities, but it wasn't like people are obsessed with it now.
Yeah, that's what
We
gets
talk
me.
about commercials now all the time about how the images there always of a family is either a white guy and a black female, and the kids are mixed. And
Vice
it's like
versa.
we're still doing that. I'm like, why is that like top of mind when we decide we're going to shoot a commercial?
I don't know. I've
Why
seen
does
it.
that matter
You see enough
so
of it in
much?
real life that it shouldn't really affect
it's
you. It
right.
should sort of just be the way things are. But it does sort of seem like, that has become the norm.
Right.
That is, we all have to have mixed marriages and mixed races, and everything has to be. And I'm not averse to any of that.
No,
don't
but
get me wrong.
there shouldn't be this push, this force to.
It's
This is the way
happening-
it's supposed to be.
It's happening a great deal more in these TV commercials and print ads than it is in real life. Is the point?
I agree with
yeah,
that.
because they feel the need to push an agenda, which is always destroying. Well, and Glover, who is black, they point out in this article, looks forward to when one day we don't have to talk about these first. The day's here, Victor. It's been here for a while. I remember when the first black woman won in tennis, right?
Yeah.
That was a huge deal. And it's just
Arthur
one-
Ashe was a big deal.
Arthur Ashe was a huge deal.
huge.
First time you had a black woman win a figure skating medal at the Olympics. Oh my God, this is
Bobsledding.
amazing. Yeah.
Bobsledding.
Well, I mean, let's face it. Bobsledding is a weird thing
Yeah,
to be
that
meddling
is.
in for
Yeah.
anybody.
Mhm.
Really.
Oh, I think it is too.
White, black,
Right.
orange, green, any color you are.
This feels like
this is a very
Victor's
unfair-
making this about Victor. Victor's not. I mean,
As long as you can
I-
pilot the ship, I don't care.
right.
Yeah.
If you're qualified, get up there, do what you need to do, and
Yeah.
we'll see you after a while.
I,
Right?
I rather like Carlos Mencia used to do a bit about how there's absolutely nothing wrong with stereotyping. He says the military does it perfectly. The military's got it down to a T. He says, you look at the special forces, they're all Hispanic people. What are we good at? Crossing borders without being seen.
You're right.
If you are like trying to target something and you want to hit something with a drone from 1,000 miles away and you have to hit something that's like 4 square inches, you know who's operating that? The Asian guys. It's the Asian guys. The military's like, we know where to put these people. And you look at the artillery, and boy, I hate to say this, the armor division. I hate to say
Who's
that
going
this is absolutely
there?
true. It's just all African Americans. So what is a tank but a giant drive-by? If you think about it,
Richard. Good heavens.
I'm like, whoa. I'm putting this at the feet of Carlos.
Right. I
but
see what you're doing there.
He ain't wrong, is the point. They, why not take everybody and put them to the best of their abilities?
If that's how it is.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, they're bringing
we
the
don't want to
Canadian.
stereotype it too much.
They're bringing the Canadian in case they run across some aliens. So they need someone to be polite. And they're bringing the woman because someone has to make the sandwiches. So
the sandwiches
I
are
think all of
pre-made.
this.
Yeah, they're.
did she make them
everything's-
before
no,
they left?
She doesn't.
Well,
They're all pre-made. She doesn't have to make anything.
somebody has to tidy up
hey,
the spaceship.
Get her
Right
out
over
of
there
the,
in that cabinet by
Get
the
her out of the
Tang.
kitchen. She's not cleaning anything. No. See.
Mm-hmm.
6:48
with Dixon and Vining here on this lovely April Fool's Day. Anything you hear you disagree with, that was a joke. It was meant as a
Right.
joke, just
It
to
was a joke.
be absolutely clear, yes. Another one of those weird, quirky 90s bands we were talking about yesterday. Little Spin Doctors. 6:52. Dixon Inviting, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Alabama Tree Pros at 308-4158, ready to take that tree down. You know, one of the things they do, I was talking to Eric from Alabama Tree Pros yesterday. He said, we can save you a lot of trouble if you call us if you have any questions. We will come out and look at the tree. We can even give you tips on how to save the tree if it looks like it's, headed in the wrong direction. Now, sometimes they're too far gone and there's nothing we can do and we can, just take it down. But if you wait until it's too late, then we do have to take it down. If you call early enough, we can come by and we can kind of give you a few pointers on, hey, look, if you do this and you do this, you can have this tree around for another couple of years to come. Maybe we have to trim it up a little bit, whatever. That's a service that not every single tree service is going to get on board with because they make their money by cutting down trees. And there ain't nothing really inexpensive about the process of taking a tree down. It really does cost a lot. The insurance alone for these companies can be expensive. But these guys are less expensive than anyone else. And I can tell you I was certainly happy with the job they did for me. AlabamaTreePros.com. AlabamaTreePros.com, 308-4158 on the telephone. Give them a call and tell them I sent you. Grumpy Old Goat is doing an impersonation of the microphone. Mike, Mom, Richard keeps touching me. Make him stop.
So true.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Scott says, I think John Mayer performed a song about gravity.
Yeah, that was a great song.
How it affects your body. It's the way he always says it. My body. Mm-hmm.
Just don't get too close to John Mayer.
I have no intention of doing so. I think the diseases jump right off him onto you. I could be wrong. Randy says, surprised they didn't put guys on the new Star Trek, LOL. I wonder if he meant gays. I don't know. The new Star Trek, the Star Trek Starfleet Academy, which was it died after 1 year.
Yeah, it's dead.
Yeah, it's dead.
They killed it.
Well, because it was just so ridiculously woke.
Yeah.
And it was like, see, I think in the future, in Star Trek land, we'll be well past all that nonsense.
We should be. Yeah.
I think we'll be well past all that nonsense.
Hope so.
Thomas says, on the lunar rover, the one on Hadley's Ridge belongs to me. Lisa Mason's dad gave it to me. He said all it needs is a new battery. He did, by the way. Lisa Mason, a longtime friend of mine, no longer with us, sadly. Her father was responsible for the lunar rover.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he actually was one of the guys who
helped build it?
From the inception of how can we get these guys farther away? Because, it's really difficult to walk on the moon, and you don't want to get too far away from home base because you may have to get back there.
And you don't want to get lost.
He said, what if we built a little car? And they were like, you're out of your mind.
And he did
no,
it,
let's give it a try.
Let me show you how to do it.
Yeah, and
That's
they built
very
a
cool.
very lightweight car that could be collapsed and kept with them. Then once they got there, as Steve pointed out, they just left it there because there wasn't room. There was moon rocks. Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Jerry says, that crew sounds like the beginning of one of Richard's terrible jokes.
Which it turned into that.
There it is.
Congratulations.
It wasn't my joke.
Saw it coming.
Again.
Yeah.
Carlos.
Well, you're the one that said it.
That's true.
You started it, Richard.
On these airwaves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And let's see. Someone mentioned Boardwalk Fries yesterday. For fans of those fries, like my humble self, check out Wingstop's fries. They are a dead-on copy. Of course, you'd have to supply your own toppings. Yeah. There was something about Boardwalk Fries just walking around the mall with that cup in your
good,
hand,
though.
searing your hand,
Sure.
your
They needed-
fingerprints coming off.
Like Starbucks has the little cover.
Yeah.
The little cup covers.
Mhm.
They need one of those.
They didn't have those.
They really
They
did.
did not have
Or
those.
something that was a little more insulated so your hand didn't burn.
Tiger Woods was found with some white pills in his pocket
Oh, yes, he
after
was.
that DUI crash. Turns out, and this is the stuff you don't find out until later, but 90 miles an hour he was going.
In a 30?
In a 30.
Slightly above the speed limit.
90?
90 and a 30. That's where he clipped the back of that trailer and rolled over.
Are you insane?
And as he
90
was going, he
miles
was
per
like,
hour.
not again.
Yeah, no wonder they, again, because they said the car flipped on its side and then it went down the road, slid down the road for a long, and I was like, well, he must have been boogieing. Wow.
Prescription opioids found in his pocket. The 5-time Masters winner was arrested on charges of driving under the influence with property damage and refusal to submit to a blood alcohol level test after law enforcement said his vehicle collided with another vehicle Friday afternoon while he was driving impaired.
You know, a couple of things going on with him. A, the fact that he came out yesterday saying that he's going to put himself in rehab. And here's my hope that he truly wants to. I understand the pain pills. He's in a lot of pain. He's had a lot of surgeries. Let's figure something out, or don't drive. It's one of the two. You're either going to not be taking pain pills to the level that you are, or you're not going to drive. The second thing is these pills that were in his pocket. Okay, he didn't have alcohol in his system.
No.
He had hydrocodone in his system.
Yeah.
Which is still an impairment.
How do they prove that?
Yeah.
Okay, even with the pills in your pocket, which you're actually supposed to have those in a pill bottle.
Yes, you are.
Your prescription pill bottle with you. You're not supposed to have loose pills in your pocket. But you can't prove now that he had those in his system. You can say he appeared impaired. Those police officers have said that he seemed very lethargic. But there's no proof of what was in his system. Was it those pills? You cannot connect those two dots.
No, you cannot.
He's going to probably get out of this. You know that.
Yeah, but
other than the judge maybe saying, look, you know. And that's
based
why
upon past history.
Yeah, past history. But again, you're talking about this case. And he wants a jury. Tiger Woods wants this to go before a jury.
I mean,
I'm gonna go to rehab, and I want this before a jury. He's setting this up to get off of this, and of course, you know, no one wants to go to jail in due time. But there's a couple of things here that are like, oh, he knew what he was doing.
Given his past, nobody knows more about getting off than Tiger Woods. I can tell you that.
And we'll leave it right there.
Thank you very much.
Welcome in. It's April Fool's, everyone. Only Richard isn't fooling.
What?
And we have 3 hours more.
Oh,
What?
good Lord, help us.
I'll tell you who doesn't need to be on that jury, because I lived down there. I lived down there not far from Tiger Woods. I was probably 15 miles south of where he lived.
Island.
No, he lived at that point. He lived in a place called Lake Mary, and his pizza delivery guy said, "I keep getting the Tiger Woods delivery, and he'll order it doesn't matter whether he orders 1 pie or 15 pies. My tip always $1."
No, it was
One
not.
guy says Tiger Woods has never tipped me more than $1 in all the time I've been delivering these pizzas. I was like, that is insane.
Tiger's maybe getting a little extra something in his pizza.
All I can say is
Hello?
that you better hope that no pizza delivery guys are on that jury, because it's going to be like, guilty, Your Honor. Guilty, guilty.